ashes burn in the stone, and night it's our turn.
So we are looking at mulligans. It seems Jango is happy enough with the hand and is resourcing the cards. Bossk
I
has
think the
kept
boss player,
resource.
I think they were leaning in. Like they knew something keyed off, or maybe they said Bazine before they exhausted their resources. Okay.
I don't know where the deck is. I assume it's off camera right now. But there is a death mark placed on the Bazine, so I think we're going to see a lot of Bossk pings over the next couple of turns.
Jango getting rid of that laser blast, they're really looking to the future. One thing about Bazines and repetitive Bazines is you can clear out all of their laser blasts potentially, and just know that they're not even on it anymore.
The Bossk player has very kindly showed us how awful that turn's draws was, with an Avenger and a Krayt Dragon being the addition to the hand. A Merciless Contest will finish off the Bazine, keep the board clear, draw 2 cards. I hope they are not... They seem to not be Avenger and Krayts, so I believe he's far happier with what has happened. And a punishing one will be the follow-up.
In the ground arena. Yeah, it's another thing about this matchup. Any decks with Maclunky, you're nervous when you put a bounty on one of their units, because they, even if they're not going to damage with Maclunky, they can just bounce and get rid of your bounty, particularly on your flip turn.
I think the way this board has solved out in the early turns is of benefit to the Bossk player. Being able to try and go card for card now and preserve the health is a decently nice option. A double 2-drop turn would be very unfortunate for the Bossk player, but he is pretty happy that the removal of punishing one right now will leave a clear board for Jango to play into.
Yeah, I mean, Jango's trying to look to the future, clearing out that laser blast, but I don't know. It is a good spot for Bossk right now.
Bossk almost resourced a copy of Client, but seems to have decided that establishing it is more important than resourcing it. So he has decided to establish it and let the board clutter up a little more from here.
Shields are good against Jango. I mean, they're going to pop the shield off pretty quickly. But one thing it does do is they can't exhaust it. Like, they're going to pop that shield. Okay, so it's not going to matter. But in other scenarios, if you have a shielded unit and a Jango player pings it, that unit didn't take any damage. So they're not able to use their leader ability.
Bossk will have the initiative going into this one. They have the consideration of a client activation into a removal, which will allow for the deck to gain back the life lost. But I'm unsure if the removal that's in hand is going to guarantee the ability to remove the unit that the bounty is put on.
Yeah, I see a trench, some vigilances, and then some large units.
Maybe a vanquish hidden in there. We put a bounty onto the P38.
And I mean, with this client, part of how this works is you're really just gaining 2 life in that situation. If you're going to now use a card to clear that unit, you had to take the 3 damage first.
I don't know if
magic makes me use words like life.
True. I don't know. I think the Bossk flip and lining up for the 10 health is very beneficial. But I do think Jango is of a little worry on his deploy this turn. And the ping will be able to hit the Bossk and tap it down if he chooses to vanquish now.
Yeah, what's the risk of not... Okay, if you don't vanquish, he could Maclunky the unit or waylay his own unit, because this is representing 10 health repair on the base. This is going to double collect that client bounty.
He has decided that the removal is required. The death trigger for 1 damage is being decided on, it would appear.
It's probably tap leader. Yep,
it is tap leader, yeah. So Jango will be able to come down, swing for the 3, and not be hit by the Bossk. Unsure if Bossk would want to hit it, but might be a chance. So Triple Dark Raid might be looking for a Ruthless Raiders here to have the ability to kill the client here and now, which I think would be of much benefit to Jango.
Yeah, I think in general, that's what we're always looking for is Ruthless Raiders. But yeah, there it is. Fire Spray's also a decent hit a lot of times.
So the 2 damage has landed on the client. Ruthless Raiders should be ready currently. It was finished off with Tarkin Town, so the Jango can get in for 3 damage.
I think that's a good play. He needs to put pressure on the base.
Only unfortunate part is it seems the Jango player forgot that it does enter ready and has missed the 4 damage from the Ruthless Raiders attack.
That is tough. It could be an example of what I was talking about where you might decline going to camera for game 3. Players could be nervous here.
Yeah.
So again, if you're that player and you notice it, make a little note. Ask yourself at the end of the game, did that lose the game for you? Think about how you can remind yourself to not miss triggers like that.
So the boss did put the Jango within range of Vigilance, so it is an option that the deck will have currently. Doesn't appear that there's any bounties in hand, but there is a new client. So the potential for a Power of the Dark Side landing this turn and forcing him to choose which one dies. Nope, an Open Fire will clean up the Jango here.
Right. So now we might see the Power or the client. What do we think we're gonna see? Power. Just gonna call it.
I would put Client. I'd put Client here
good.
after choosing not to Open Fire the Punishing one.
I answered quickly because I wanted us to say different options. It's more interesting. Oh, there it is.
You were
Power
correct about the Power. So board has been remained clear for the Ruthless Raiders, and the Ruthless Raiders does clean up the Bossk.
So part of why he powered there is because he has Entrench in his hand. So he wanted to go ahead and clear that unit out. He knew the Ruthless Raider was coming, and now with Initiative, he'll immediately entrench that Ruthless Raider.
Very reasonable.
It does depend what else is in his hand, if that's the correct line, but I expect it. We'll see.
Looks like it might be a Fine Edition, a top target, a Client, a Vigilance, and an Avenger.
Oh, so okay, so maybe the Entrench got resourced earlier. Could have seen a Perilous Position. That would have been good too.
We have pinged onto the Ruthless Raiders. We have 17 damage on base. It does not seem like the Bossk player has a way to kill the Ruthless Raiders this turn. So
Yeah, with all his resources available, I don't see a Laser Blast in hand. Now we've got a Fire Spray. I like Jango's position to maybe win game 3 here. A reminder to everyone watching, this is game 3.
we did see an action pass after the Ruthless Raiders attack. Oh no, it was a Bossk ping. Bossk ping after the Ruthless Raiders attacked.
Into a desperation heal here.
Yeah, heal 5, mill 6 to avoid not doing anything with the 6 resources available to him. 5 damage will be replaced on the base by the Fire Spray.
So we're looking for a Laser Blast off the top.
I think
This is the game. Yeah, we saw that early Bozine clearing a Laser Blast. He could have resourced.
Early Bozine is looking very strong now.
Yep, this is what I was talking about. Set himself up to be able to close the game.
So a Merciless Contest will come down to kill one of the units. It will be the Ruthless Raiders. The 2 damage will go on base. The bounty will be collected for 4 health.
Yeah, and when multiple players have triggers like that, the active player chooses which player resolves their triggers first. So if that Ruthless Raider trigger would have killed him, he could resolve his top target first and then have the Ruthless Raider resolve.
Ooh, Lurking Tie Silencer is going to come down. It will be answered by the Entrench. There was an Entrenched in hand. So it seems that that was one of the
Okay.
draws from the top.
Yeah.
So the Avenger in hand is looking very bad now.
Very bad. We're still looking for a blast to clear out those other 2 units. Even now, blast would not kill the lurking tie.
So I think Blast would not kill Lurking Tie, but it would leave the entrenched. Appears it may have been drawn. Unsure. Nope, definitely not. We have a top target Avenger in hand. The Avenger will be played. It is gonna.
Do nothing. Oh, well, we'll see. Silent is reading the card and asking himself, can I choose this? Yes, you can.
So he has chosen to choose Lurking Tie Silencer. Due to the effect on Silencer, it is not allowed to be defeated in this way. So it effectively blanks the Avenger for this turn.
That's going
We
to
will
do
see
it.
a triple dark for any unit with 3 attack will be lethal.
Now we get to see if the player remembers that it comes in readied.
Paying 1.
This time.
Ruthless Raiders in ready this time. We'll deal the 2 and the hand goes out.
Yeah, it's not that this player doesn't know the card does that. They nervously missed it earlier in the game.